All right, so welcome back. This is going to be a lot of the quote usual routine, and that's kind of, I know I've mentioned it before, but that's really what's going to start happening is I'm going to be doing almost the same things to reinforce them and to get her comfortable and to get me comfortable, because I've mentioned it before, but I'm hesitant to really get up in her space because I don't want to upset her. But I need to get up in her space because we need to, approach and get over these obstacles and feel comfortable with each other. A lot of times I feel like so many people talk about, oh, the horse needs to trust me, but I need to connect with the horse. I feel like the people maybe I'm just a very anxious person. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like I have a lot to work on throughout this as well. And I think a lot of people really focus on the horse, which I think is completely valid, and that's what I do a lot of the time. But at the same time, it's a lot about me. One, my patience has been really something I've worked hard on, but also just being comfortable with her as we go through this stuff. So she's pretty well at this point. I think we do reach a point where there's a level that I think we're both comfortable at. It's pushing past that level that's a little bit more difficult. But again, that's just part of the process of being domestic and kind of learning to live with each other, and, that's it. So, a little bit of this and that. Again, she's not very itchy. She really likes her ears scratched inside of them, I've learned. But this is me trying to figure out kind of what she likes, if she likes anything. I mean, you're also just getting her used to being touched a lot of different places, because that's unusual. She's still not a very touchy horse. I think if I ever show or take her to where there are a lot of people around, I think she will have to be a red ribbon pony on the back and the front end, because she's not really into people, which again is fine. It happens. Look how roan she is. She's so fun. All right, so some feet work. Again, I'm using the rope because just for safety for myself, but also just keeping it going in the duration. All right, so you can see where I got frustrated, but we just took a break. So the other thing that I realize is a lot of times when I'm just moving my domestic around, or one of my sister's horses around, I just put the lead rope over their neck, right? If you're doing something not quote serious, or you're in an emergency and you only have a line of some capacity, I realize that I need to kind of teach her that. As is usual, she's a perfect angel when it comes to leading. So I'm glad that didn't take long. You can also get to neck reining and stuff like that. I've put it over her nose just to have something different going on. But yeah, she's really good with the lead rope, and I think that's good. Again, it's just kind of one of those kind of skills to have, and one of those things that I forget that she doesn't know, right? Because it's half ingrained where oh, I got to move this horse, or this horse needs to stand still while someone else is getting this one out. It's I put the lead rope over him. So that is good to practice. And then we go back to the feet. So again, I got frustrated, so I stopped. We took a break, and then I did the neck rope. So learning to work with myself. This is where I start, I think, I don't want to use the word being aggressive, but I think I'm a little more firm in I'm going to maybe hold it until she calms down. I tried that method a few times. I don't really stick with it because it just makes me feel a little squeamish, I think, because she's not understanding, and I'm purposely ignoring her not understanding and her confusion instead of helping her with that confusion or understanding. But again, it's just, I'm not a professional, I'm not a trainer, so I'm really kind of just navigating this of what feels right, and I try something, it doesn't feel right, so I stop, one of those things. I feel like you can say that it's a bad thing to do because I'm confusing, and I think you'd be valid in that, but again, it's just me trying to figure out what I want to do and how she responds and how I respond. This video is from April of 2023, so bit over a year ago. So again, it's kind of fun to explore like where we were at and how some days I just felt like we were never going to get something. But as you can see, she's being really awesome. So that was awesome. That was holding the leg for a long time. She's so much better on that side with that leg. Like she is completely, I don't want to say fine, but like really good. And you can see I'm clicking rewarding because that is exactly what I want. This one is a little bit different, but I think it also shows you the difference in sides. You can still see she's a little bit wiggly, and that's okay. Because again, I really do think it's a vulnerable position for them, but I also think it's really awkward, and she needs to have the muscling and the balance to do that. One, you can't just like stand there on like one leg for 15 minutes. Like, you have to build up that. And then if she's pregnant, obviously her body is going to be changing and there's going to be some shifting of balance and everything like that. So I think it's one of those things where I really want to get it done, but you have to be slow about it because, it's not happening in one day. You have to build the muscle. You have to build the mental muscle too. So, yeah, just usual routine. I almost feel like these videos are going to get, I don't want to use the word boring, but like the same stuff a lot. I do my videos, the way that kind of like it happened, I do pretty consistent videos for a good time and then I stop. I don't stop, but like I have some, they're not as consistent because my summer is a very busy time in my like other side of my life. I also like the heat. I'm a baby when it comes to the heat. So while I obviously care for my horse and like, daily interact with them, I don't necessarily do as many training sessions as I am right here. But I also get to a point where I'm a lot more happy with where she is. I'm not as panicked, right? Like she's able to have the farrier. We go to places, like there's a point where I reach where I'm like, okay, I feel like I can kind of be less anxious and not slow down, but like take a deep breath because we're there, So there's a point where kind of videos a little bit drop off. And then now, like, a year later, it's June of 2024. I feel like I'm in not as many training videos because I'm not a professional. Like, this is where you would send your horse to a professional if you wanted to, because I've not domesticated her, but she's not as feral as she was. So that's kind of where my training, quote, sessions kind of drop off for videotaping purposes, I guess. But yeah, nice usual routine. Yay. What a pretty girl.